Guys, something may have slipped out from behind the closed doors of the production studio, and it is not what anyone was anticipating. A rumor has been gaining massive traction over the last 48 hours, and it points to a massive, dark shift in the dynamics at the Quartermain estate. I wasn't expecting this detail to surface so soon, but an insider buzz suggests that a simple change of address is about to become the catalyst for one of the most explosive storylines of the year. We are hearing that Willow is packing her bags and moving into the Quartermain gatehouse. On the surface, this might just look like a standard real estate shuffle, a way for her to find some peace amidst the chaos of her life. But there is a behind-the-scenes possibility that this move is a calculated setup for a storyline so sinister, it will fundamentally change how we view several core characters. A secret is about to be unearthed. A hidden agenda is about to be activated, and someone is going to be pushed past the point of no return. Everyone assumes that Willow is completely preoccupied with her ongoing war against Drew. Most viewers believe that her primary focus is silencing her recovering husband and dealing with the blackmail leverage involving Jack Brennan and Nina. The obvious explanation seems to be that moving to the gatehouse is just a strategic retreat, a way to distance herself from the immediate threats while she figures out her next move. Furthermore, most fans think that the drama surrounding Jordan's hit-and-run accident has been neatly swept under the rug. Everyone assumes that because Harrison Chase found out about Brooklyn framing Willow, and because Chase decided to set boundaries and prioritize his family, the hit-and-run secret is safely buried. Viewers believe that Brooklyn got away with her reckless crime and that Chase's internal conflict over protecting his guilty wife is just a minor bump in their marital road. But what if we're looking at this the wrong way? What if that wasn't the real reason for Willow's move to the gatehouse? What if the situation is being manipulated by the writers to create a pressure cooker environment that is guaranteed to explode? If you ask me, placing Willow in the gatehouse is a brilliant, terrifying narrative device. By living on the Quartermain property, Willow is going to be in constant, unavoidable proximity to Brooklyn and Chase. We already know that Chase and Brooklyn's marriage is not exactly standing on solid rock right now. Their relationship is incredibly fragile, held together by secrets and compromises. And that is especially true when it comes to Willow. Chase has a history of rushing to Willow's defense, and his lingering protective instincts have always been a massive trigger for Brooklyn. I keep wondering whether this constant proximity, seeing Chase and Willow cross paths on the estate, sharing polite smiles, perhaps sharing a lingering look, is going to drive Brooklyn absolutely crazy. Unconfirmed information suggests that Brooklyn's jealousy is going to flare up in a catastrophic way, leading to a massive, screaming argument between husband and wife. Imagine the scene. Brooklyn, consumed by insecurity, starts lashing out at Chase about his undeniable soft spot for Willow. The argument escalates, the volume rises, and the tension shatters their usual composure. In the heat of this explosive fight, Chase finally snaps. The insider buzz hints that Chase will throw Brooklyn's darkest secret right back in her face. He will yell about how much he has sacrificed for her, how he compromised his own morals as a police officer to defend her, and how he actively covered up the fact that Brooklyn was the actual driver who hit Jordan and then callously framed Willow for the crime. It is a devastating confession of complicity. And here is the twist. What if Willow is standing right outside the door? What if Willow accidentally overhears every single word of this screaming match? Suddenly, Willow realizes that the woman who has been making her life miserable, the woman who nearly sent her to prison, is the true culprit. This completely shifts the narrative. We are no longer watching a victim. We are watching a woman who has just been handed the ultimate weapon. There may be more going on here than just a simple eavesdropping scenario. Once Willow possesses this explosive, unconfirmed information, how will she use it? That's one possibility we need to explore. Scenario number 1, the legal destruction. In this scenario, Willow doesn't confront Brooklyn immediately. Instead, she plays the long game. She takes the secret and goes straight to Jordan. Jordan has been desperate to find out who really hit her and left her for dead on the side of the road. If Willow delivers Brooklyn on a silver platter, providing the exact details of how Brooklyn and Chase covered it up, Jordan's wrath will be absolute. Jordan is not just going to target Brooklyn. She will utilize the full force of the PCPD to ensure Brooklyn faces severe prison time for vehicular assault, fleeing the scene, and obstruction of justice. Willow gets to sit back and watch her rival's life crumble into dust, all while keeping her own hands perfectly clean. It is a cold, calculated move that fits perfectly with Willow's increasingly ruthless political persona. But another theory is far more psychological. Scenario number 2, the blackmail execution. What if Willow decides that sending Brooklyn to prison is too easy? What if Willow wants Brooklyn to suffer every single day? In this possibility, Willow confronts Brooklyn in secret and reveals that she knows everything. Willow then uses this hit-and-run secret to blackmail Brooklyn into absolute submission. Willow could force Brooklyn to sabotage her own position at deception, or manipulate Tracy, or even systematically destroy her own marriage to Chase from the inside out. Brooklyn would be trapped in a living nightmare, forced to obey Willow's every command, because the alternative is losing her freedom, her husband, and her child. This scenario turns Willow into a master manipulator, holding the strings of Brooklyn's life and slowly tightening the noose. The psychological torture would be immense, and it would create a brilliant, dark dynamic between the two women that could carry the show for months. Then there is scenario number 3, the violent escalation. What if the tension simply cannot be contained by blackmail or legal maneuvers? In this version of the rumor, Brooklyn somehow discovers that Willow overheard the fight. Panicked and cornered, Brooklyn aggressively tracks Willow down at the gatehouse. Brooklyn, known for her fiery temper, starts blaming Willow for everything, accusing her of lurking in the shadows and trying to ruin her marriage. Brooklyn might even threaten Willow, telling her that no one will believe her without proof. This relentless blaming is the spark that ignites the powder keg. Willow, who is already under an unimaginable amount of stress dealing with Drew and the blackmail evidence, finally loses all control. The unconfirmed information suggests that the verbal altercation turns physical. Willow snaps, realizing that as long as Brooklyn is breathing and fighting back, she will never have peace. A brutal struggle ensues, right there in the Quartermaine gatehouse, changing the trajectory of both characters forever. However, we have to look at the darkest corners of this speculation. The most dangerous possibility is not just that Willow and Brooklyn get into a violent fight. The most dangerous possibility involves collateral damage. Rumor has it that right as Willow loses control and viciously attacks Brooklyn, someone else walks through the door. Enter Kai. We know Kai has been heavily involved in monitoring Drew's recovery and has his own suspicions about Willow's dark side. What if Kai comes to the Quartermaine estate looking for Brooklyn or Chase for a completely unrelated reason? What if Kai accidentally stumbles into the gatehouse at the exact moment Willow is standing over a battered Brooklyn? This is where the storyline crosses into pure thriller territory. Willow is caught red-handed. She knows that if Kai leaves that room, her life is over. Her political career, her freedom, her children, everything will be stripped away. In a moment of pure adrenaline-fueled panic, Willow makes a terrifying choice. She doesn't beg for Kai's silence. She silences him herself. The insider buzz suggests that Willow might grab a heavy object and strike Kai from behind, knocking him completely unconscious alongside Brooklyn. Suddenly, Willow has 2 bodies on her hand. She has crossed a line from which there is absolutely no return. She is no longer just a woman seeking revenge. She is a violent criminal holding 2 people hostage. Willow might drag their unconscious bodies into a hidden cellar or a locked room within the sprawling Quartermaine estate, imprisoning them to buy herself time. Or, even more chillingly, she might decide that the only way to truly keep a secret is if the people who know it are dead. The thought of Willow transforming into a calculated killer, holding Brooklyn and Kai captive while pretending everything is perfectly normal to the outside world, is a behind-the-scenes possibility that would absolutely shatter the Port Charles landscape. Something about this feels hidden right in plain sight. The writers have been slowly darkening Willow's character for months, showing us that she is capable of ruthless decisions when her back is against the wall. Moving her to the gatehouse, placing her in the direct line of fire of Brooklyn and Chase's crumbling marriage, and introducing the volatile element of the hit-and-run secret feels like a perfectly laid trap. Will Willow really go to Jordan and destroy Brooklyn legally? Will she engage in a twisted game of psychological blackmail? Or will she lose her mind entirely, resulting in a violent hostage situation involving Brooklyn and Kai? we cannot say for sure. None of this is officially confirmed, and it might just be the wild speculation of insiders who are connecting the dots of recent script. But it could be true. It could be false. But one thing is absolutely certain. There is a storm brewing at the Quartermain estate, and when it finally breaks, the fallout will be spectacular. Keep your eyes peeled, guys, because there is definitely a much bigger story waiting to be told.
Goodbye. Please like, subscribe, and comment on the GH Spoilers Daily channel.